Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I'm alone today, and I want to talk about the topic of illness and of medication and medicine. I have had many questions about this topic, and it came up very strongly in my last workshop. And I realized that most people don't really understand what it really is. So we have three different kind of medicine, we can say. This is the physical chemical medicine is allopathic medicine that is triggering a chemical reaction in the body. And the body itself is reacting to a chemical reaction of some kind of a compound that is taken from, of course, things in nature, but they are chemically enhanced and changed that they are not natural anymore. So we trigger a chemical reaction, and the chemical reaction might cure something for the moment and changes some chemical compounds within our body. Then we have a second way. This is like a more the herbal medicine, the whole so-called natural medicine. And this also has some chemical compounds, but they are more natural. Like if you, for example, make a tea or you have herbal capsules, and they are also helping the body to change some chemistry within. But it is both of the medicine is on the physical body. Now we have to think about it that as a being, I am not my body, right? I am a divine being, a divine soul, you can say, having a human experience. So, as I mentioned before, as who I am truly, the one I am, is learning here to have a human experience. So you have, when you come into this body, you have challenges. You have challenges how to behave, how to live, how to nourish your body, and because it's completely different than in higher dimensions. Now, when we are here, our whole life, we have chosen a journey. We are not just dropped here by coincidence. Every soul who's coming here is coming here for journey and has chosen certain things to learn, some virtues, whatever. And the information about what we are learning is coming from above, we can say, from a higher dimension. And it's difficult with the above thing, but it's just a higher dimension, right? So there is an information coming into our physical body. And this information first is maybe is conceived by mind and emotion. And we can see that mind emotion is more or less on the same level. There is an idea or a feeling, and the feeling creates an idea, and the idea creates a feeling. So the thought that is connecting both of them is what is the input for our life. And the input comes one part is coming through our inspiration, intuition, for those who are spiritually aligned with their higher self. And for other people who are not aligned, they are impressions from outside. Now, when we are not following our true path that we have chosen, you can imagine that like a red thread that goes through our life. So we are following this path. It is intuition, that is the message from inside, and it is the messages from outside that we receive from outside. But everything what we do, what we feel, what we conceive is connected with input, what we receive from any level, it doesn't matter. So when we are aligned with our higher purpose, we are guided by the higher self a certain way, and therefore receive also certain things from the outside. So we attract certain circumstances. Now, the better we are aligned with our higher self, the more easy and the more smooth is our path. And when we have challenges, we can conquer them. We have never chosen challenges in our life path that we cannot handle. We would never, before we incarnate, choose a life, a circumstance in our life that we were not willing and ready to handle, and that we knew that we can handle. But now, with all the deception of life that comes in, especially with the situation in the moment, when it's about, more or less the metaverse, the artificial life, and ourselves as us who we are, as a spiritual being, we can say that allopathic medicine is only treating the body. And this is actually the lowest energy frequency that we can have. And if we change something in the body, it does not change anything in the higher realms. So remember again, our life path is a higher energy we have chosen before we came. And then it comes into our life and manifests. And we have every time in any situation, we have a choice if we want to go left or go right, whatever. And every time we align ourselves with our spiritual purpose, our energy is harmonious and aligned. Every time we choose something that is against our purpose, our energy is not aligned and causes friction. Now, this friction is actually causing illness. Now, if something comes into our life, a certain experience that we're supposed to have, like when you look at when you're young, you are growing up, you have to find out what life is. You have to confront the physical world. You have to go out, you have to confront, maybe when you play in the sand, you have some bacteria, some bugs and stuff that you're confronted with, and your body is challenged to handle it. So if you are strong, aligned with yourself, you also have a strong immune system, because your body is intelligent and knows how to heal itself. And with some herbs or with some little things, we can easily do it. Now, with allopathic medicine, it is more difficult, because every time we cause a chemical reaction, it has also some other negative side effects. Because the medicine that we call allopathic medicine is not holistic. It's not whole. If we use a plant, it is still natural, it's still whole. So it might take a little bit longer to have an effect in the moment, but it is harmonious, because our body is nature. And if we are nature, and we can be cured with nature, because everything what is in our body is also in nature. And the more natural we take it, the more effective it is. So I go a step further now. We have the topic of illness is that illness is something that has fallen into the body because I'm not aligned anymore with my spiritual purpose. So, for example, looking today at children, now just compare how it was 20, maybe more, 40, 50 years ago. Children were outside, they were playing outside, they were confronted with nature, they were confronted in a way natural with the way of life. Today, this is not the case anymore. Most children are not allowed even to go outside anymore, to play outside anymore. There is caution everywhere. We are warned about this and about that. The natural way of life is gone. So therefore, we are not really aligned anymore to our purpose. So we can see that more and more children are already sick. And then, of course, there is the whole topic with this kind of, shots that they give to the children, which definitely not help their immune system. Let's just put it that way. And the more chemicals you have in your body, the more you alter your natural functions of the body. In a way, the more sick you get. And of course, the more sick you get, the more medicine you need, and so on and so on. And healthy person is not a good client of the medical lobby, but a sick person is. So we can see here that the problem cannot be resolved on that level. So we have a third kind of medicine. I would call it a spiritual medicine, is energetic medicine. Now, you know that everything in our body, in fact, we are energy. Everything is energy. And if you're aligned with your higher self, this is an energetic alignment that gives you impulses that can be measured as brain waves, inspiration, intuition, and you think that is certain areas in the brain are lightening up. And this is a reaction, they cause an action, because every thought that you have is causing a reaction in the physical body. So your action, your thoughts, cause a reaction in the body. And when you have a happy thought, you feel good. When you have sad thought, when you're mourning, then it is very difficult for the body. You get tired. We often say, oh, I'm so sick and tired of this and of that. And the more also you say that, the more you manifest it. And a lot of people say that, especially in the moment. So a spiritual medicine, and we can say that is also the title of the book, The Healing Power of Illness, from Thorvald Detlefsen, who was one of my teachers. I was very lucky to have him as a teacher at that time in the 80s in Germany. And he really opened my eyes, and his book is still one of my most important Bibles. Now, everything is coming down from a higher realm that is consciousness, and coming from the consciousness into mental, emotional body, and the mental, emotional action cause a reaction in the physical body. Now, the more happy and aligned we are, the more healthy we are. If we are not aligned, if we are not happy, we get sick. Now, so you can see that all the chemical treatments in the physical body in the end cannot really heal us, cannot really help us. And we just get more and more sick, as we can observe. If you observe a little bit, like, for example, one person has a headache all the time, and then the headache gets worse, and they start with stomach problems. Then stomach problem, for example, you cannot digest life anymore, and then the whole digestive tract starts to get problems. And you can take as many medication as you want, you will not be able to heal. Now, what I want to do is I want to start the series, and I will go into the healing power of illness topic, that I'm gonna explain also more, like which each organ, how it is connected, and what you can do. So when we talk about subtle medicine, energy medicine, I talk, for example, also about homeopathy, about flower essences. This is a spiritual medicine that is not physically. You cannot measure any chemical reactions with this medicine. Unfortunately, homeopathy is very, very misunderstood, and people talk about dilution instead of potentions. Now, when you have a homeopathic remedy and you make a primary tincture, then you put like 1 part and 10 of the tincture and 10 parts of water, and you beat it. And then you have a D1. D is decimal, that means D is 10. So you go from D1, D2, so on, so forth. And when you have a D23, there is absolutely no physical matter in it anymore. And so people, because there is no chemical reaction, nothing chemical we can still measure, people think it has no value. But see, that's exactly the misunderstanding of the wrong way how people think. This is more potent, because every time you beat it, you take out the purity of the information. And the higher up you go with this, the more information you have and the less chemical reaction. So we can say that each potency is bringing it up in the higher consciousness, higher and higher. So if you have higher consciousness and you receive an information like you're happy, if you are happy, you get a telephone call, for example, that you receive a great gift or whatever, say you win $1 million in the lotto, you're very happy, and all the chemical reactions in the body that happen make you happy and healthy, and everything is good in your body in that moment. But if I do the opposite, if I call you and tell you your loved one just very sick and has only a few days to live or something like that, you crash, and the body also creates chemical reactions, right? And exactly these chemical reactions are the cause of illness. Now, if I give you a homeopathic remedy, I give you one of these messages, and your brain recognizes the message and creates a reaction in the body, as does the flower essences if they are done right. Unfortunately, today, the flower essences that we can buy, they don't have the same energy potency anymore as they had. I started with flower essences 40 years ago. And I did compare about 20 years ago, the very old remedies I still had from that time with the ones they sold. That was in Singapore, I was there, and I started to compare them, and the new remedies are only 30% of the energy that was the old ones. So of course, a lot of people say they don't work because it works subtle. But I tell you, I had a friend at that time, and she was a dentist, and we were experimenting with flower essences, and she started to use the rescue remedy drops, put the drop in somebody's mouth when they started the treatment. She told people what she's doing, and 90% they were happy with it. Said, yeah, okay. And she said she needed about, how was it about? It was more than 50% less painkillers, because people were more relaxed, and the information of the relaxation that helps you to navigate an emergency situation was full alert. And she said, it is not just that people did not have less pain, but it did register differently in their brain. It was a very interesting study. So let me go on afterwards. This is just the introduction for this, that I want to go into the details afterwards and give you more details. So just to remember, we have generally 3 kinds of medicine. There is something in between, that is the acupuncture, acupressure, that is connecting in a way the physical with the spiritual. So this can go to both sides depending on the therapist. Acupuncture is very powerful. I had it myself for many years, and it really worked fast and strong. So I would like to give you some more information on that, so that you can handle illness much better, that you can understand what is going on, what spiritual message has fallen into your physical body. So you don't see the message, you don't know the message anymore. It has fallen in the physical body and creates a symptom. So the symptom will tell you what has fallen into your body. And then if you start to work with it that way, you can bring that symptom up again, and you can heal yourself. You can heal your body, and not just your body, but the self, the connection, body, soul, and spirit, we can say. Then you're aligned again to your spiritual path. And this is actually where we're supposed to go. Okay, so I stop here now, and if you have questions, please go ahead and ask them. I will either answer them in one of my next video or write an answer for you right now. If you like this idea to talk about that, give me a thumbs up or a feedback so I will prepare for more. Have a beautiful day and I see you soon again. Bye bye.